Eyewitness Sports.
All right, it's a two-man show for Double OT this week with Ruthie Polinsky. I'm Yanni Karakis. Maury's on assignment in Williamsport, where he'll never leave.
He is living all his childhood dreams right now.
12 nights in Western Pennsylvania or Central Pennsylvania.
The second best thing to playing in the Little League World Series, I guess, for Maury would be covering it, so I'm happy for him.
So last night on the Sports Wrap, he's breaking down the starter's four-seam fastball. And I'm like, imagine if you're 12 and you have some guy on the local news being
great.
like, hey, you know, it's got like this 12-6 dip into it. He's got the four-seamer going.
Stop.
All right,
That's
anyway,
so
let's start with football. You were in Foxborough today. Josh Gordon was there, not in pads or in a uniform, but in the house. Apologies for our Browns uniform here on this logo. We start with this, Ruthie. How much will Josh Gordon contribute to the Patriots? We know you're a big Gordon fan.
Yeah, I'm a big Gordon in terms of I hope he is healthy and I hope that he is able to play football because he loves it and also remain healthy. And I think there's a lot of obvious controversy around whether or not the Patriots should have got him in the first place, and then obviously he was incredibly effective on the field, wasn't able to stay on the field, which has kind of been his downfall. But listen, if he's healthy and he wants to play football, who are we and who are the media and who are the commentators and the fans to be like, football's not good for him?
Mm-hmm.
Like, only Josh Gordon knows what's good for Josh Gordon. Maybe there are some other people in his life that can tell him. So if he can come on the field, be healthy, stay healthy, and contribute the way that he did last year, what it was, 720 yards in 11 games and 3 touchdowns, yes, get him out there. And if he wants to be there, I think the Patriots organization, we said this last year when they acquired him, if he wants to play football, New England Patriots is where you play. That is structure, that is organization, that is accountability, and I think that if he wants to give it another go, why not?
I'm actually sort of surprised Bill took him back from a football perspective because a pillar of Bill Belichick's approach to coaching and managing a roster is dependability.
Sure.
If you're always injured and not on the field, I can't count on you. And obviously Josh Gordon has shown that he can't really stay on the field and away from whatever keeps him off the field. So I'm a little surprised on that front.
Yeah.
I'm concerned as a Patriot fan about him playing 16 games. When was the last time he played a full season without getting caught up with a suspension in some regard? So I don't even care if he plays at the clip he played at last year. I just need you out there for 16 games because what happened last year, Ruthie, they became reliant on him, sort of catered the offense in some respects to him, and then had to reshuffle the offense in Week 13. I don't want that to have to happen to the Patriots again.
And then they won the Super Bowl.
They won the Super Bowl. But I don't they overcame it. They always do. But
that's
I want
my
Josh
point.
Gordon. If Josh Gordon could be a piece and not the piece, I'd rather rely on N'Keal Harry more.
Sure.
Obviously, Julian Edelman, and we'll talk about the array of receivers they have. I just don't want them to get burned again.
I agree, but my argument to that is I don't really think they got burned. They won the Super Bowl. They figured it out. They overcame it. I don't think that they were ever super reliant on Josh Gordon because they knew that was always a possibility.
I thought Brady was forcing it to him towards the end of his. You didn't?
No.
The game in Tennessee, which was an ugly game,
horrific
but I felt
on all
like
regards.
He was just looking Gordon. He's an unbelievable talent, without question.
Let me say one thing. He didn't speak to the media today, but he was in the locker room and he was around and obviously practiced. But in the locker room is when we really get up close and personal and we get to see these guys. He is enormous. I mean, just tall, strong, big body. And I obviously covered him last year, but for some reason today he just looked big. He looked healthy. He looks strong. He's a freak. He's in shape. I'll tell you that much. And there's obviously all this concern. What has he been doing, during his suspension? But he's in shape. He looks good. He looks healthy. He was smiling with the guys. And I know that I think I'm just from kind of speaking with Philip Dorsett today, they're very close. And Philip says he looks good. He's going to be there when we need him to be.
He wasn't in great shape at the beginning last year.
Yeah, remember
he ran
out of gas.
Yeah, he got caught
ran out of gas. Yeah.
So this will be interesting.
Yeah.
You wonder how much the Patriots knew. Did they know he was going to be in the mix this whole time? Were they not sure? Because a few weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, talking to Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, they were sort of weird about this.
Yeah, and I think also with I kind of got a vibe at the Super Bowl press conference when Roger Goodell was asked about Josh Gordon. I think it was Ben Volen from the Globe that asked him about Josh Gordon, and he was very we want the best for Josh. We're here to mentally support him and be there for him. And I heard this on the radio today too, that the NFL took a big mental health initiative at the beginning. I think it was in May or something.
I think every team needs to employ.
Every team has to have a mental coach that needs to be in the building. I think it's like 8 hours a week, 8 to 12 hours a week. So maybe that's something that he's going to utilize and really find help for. But if he wants to play and the Patriots are going to welcome him back, he's a force on the field. We aren't here to sit here and judge whether or not he needs football. Like, that's not our job. Like, if he wants to go play football and be effective and catch the ball and score touchdowns, then please be our guest as a fan. And as a fan, I want Josh Gordon to be healthy and happy.
So hopefully he does well on and off the field. All right, what do we have next here?
What do we have next here? So you were on a boat in Newport.
Just call me out.
Yeah, no, but you were
you're
very good at your job.
Preseason game in real time.
Yeah, no, but you're good at your job, so you watched it again. Biggest takeaways from the preseason game. This is preseason game number 2 in Tennessee.
I was bummed that Brady wasn't playing.
I know you were. You tweeted like 7 times about it.
It wasn't 7 times. I just felt like games 1 and 4 in preseason are the times we don't see starters, so I look forward to 2 and 3, and then game 2, it's like no starter.
I don't think Tom played game 2 last year, did he?
He did. The last time he didn't was 2016, 12, and 08. Someone tweeted at me.
Okay.
So take that for what it's worth.
Okay.
Isaiah Wynn is a great sign.
Isaiah Wynn looks good.
2 weeks ago, when he was not out there prominently, I was really worried about the left tackle position. So he looked good. Damian Harris, the running back, getting a lot of touches, and they were throwing to him too.
Yeah.
Someone made a good point today that I agreed with. That was like, you knew when Sony Michel was on the field they were going to run last year, and if James White they were going to pass.
Yeah.
The more mixing and matching they can do, I think that's great. Chase Winovich and his $5 in a candy bar. He had a good game. That was cool.
Yeah, he's great.
Jacoby Myers keeps stepping up. I'm interested, and we'll talk about this in roster battles, if Stidham supplants Hoyer. But if they keep
backup QB battle.
But if they keep 3, do they sort of list Hoyer as the backup, as number 2, as sort of just like respect? But like if Brady's done, I don't think this team's winning the Super Bowl. I think at that point you have to go with Stidham.
Hoyer is good. I mean,
he's pretty good.
I think he could go be a backup for a team that actually would maybe need a backup at some point, like for a quarterback, like their starter maybe like is Rocky, and you need to put not a Tom Brady, like but Brady loves Brian Hoyer. So do we just keep Brian Hoyer
just keep Brady happy?
Just keep Brady happy and. I think
he had some bad when he was with Chicago. They didn't really have much of a roster, so he hasn't had great opportunities as a starter.
But he's looked really good in preseason. So you
watched it. What was your big takeaway?
Yeah, I was also dealing with Little League.
Oh,
no, I'm just teasing. Yeah, I'm impressed. I think, I thought Jared Stidham was impressive. He had a couple of really long drives where he looked in control. There were a couple of risky throws, could have been interceptions, but he has a great command, I think, on the field. And I think it's just impressive to kind of see how they're going to groom him.
Yeah.
And if that's really maybe the guy. I'm not jumping to any sort of conclusion that he is. But I was impressed by Stidham. I'm hearing he's a Rhode Island native. Not native, but he's moved resident. I think he was at my Whole Foods the other day.
Was he picking up some almonds, lightly salted, perhaps?
I don't know. But that I think is an interesting storyline. And there were some stats that people were writing up about Garoppolo's, games next to his. I think it's funny. Just let me think it's funny. Isaiah Wynn, obviously so promising. Chase Winovich is a monster. He's a monster. I mean, high motor. That's what everyone keeps saying. He's high motor. He made a couple of just really impressive plays for someone who's been in the NFL not even
I feel like the hair adds so much more mystique
personality
to him. Because it's like when he's coming around an edge and his hair is flowing, you're like, all right. It's who's the guy in the Packers for all those years?
Yeah.
With the long hair. It'll come to us.
Not on the Packers anymore, right?
No, he's retired. He used to be on those commercials.
Came out of retirement. Oh.
What's his name?
Brutal.
He went to USC or Ohio
anyway,
State? Clay Matthews.
There we go. And so I think Winovich is impressive. Where's there room for him right now? In that kind of group, it'll be interesting to see if he can fight and make his way into sort of the top starters or whatever.
They'll be shuffling that around a lot.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. But Isaiah Wynn, I think, was a really good sign. Speaking of the offensive line, Dante Scarnecchia in the locker room today walks in, and we were all just kind of standing around, like just kind of looking around, waiting for people to come back in from meetings and stuff. And Scar looks at us and he goes, "Damn, all you in here with no one to talk to." He's just this little adorable man who's just a boss. I mean, he's just amazing.
And I love he has like the Russell Athletic cotton shorts from like 1980.
Oh.
Like high, like he hasn't changed. His outfit hasn't changed probably in 30 years. Like tucked in shirt, like the old man, like white, like Reebok classics.
And he has this really adorable posture where he just kind of like.
You're right.
I love him. Wait, I had another takeaway from the game. Damian Harris. I think that's an interesting. I liked a lot of the ways that he fell. Do you know what I mean? Like when he was tackled, he was tough. He was really tough and like impressive, and like you said, was able to catch the ball well. So that's going to be an interesting piece. I think they find ways to utilize in different ways. What do you?
Patriots are going to torment fantasy football owners at the running back position. Let's go into that. The roster battles. Running back being one of them, right?
Right.
So 5-6 guys. I mean, they're going to have Sony Michel, they're going to have James White, they're going to have Damian Harris, they're going to have Rex Burkhead, Brandon Bolden because he's on, and who am I missing? And technically, I guess if you put James Devlin in there as a fullback, but that's a lot of guys.
Yeah, it's a lot.
They actually have, the Patriots have a really good problem of having a lot of positions where they have a surplus of talent, receiver being probably the most prominent because I don't think anyone thought Jacoby Myers was going to be on this team.
What
and now
a steal.
Josh Gordon. So if you put Gordon and Myers in there, that's 2 slots that aren't available for Maurice Harris. I think Berrios makes the roster because of his special teams opportunity as a returner.
Olszewski was an up gunner. He was an up for me in this preseason game. I think they like him. So I think there's a little bit of a battle there between Olszewski and Braxton Berrios. I think that's going to be, maybe they'll utilize one of them.
Who's the odd man out at receiver?
One of those two, Braxton Berrios or Olszewski.
Or Harris, you mean, or Olszewski?
Olszewski.
Really?
So is that how you say it?
I don't know.
It's Olszewski?
So you think Harris is making it? You think Harris makes the?
I think Harris might not make it. I think another odd man out could be Dorsett. I hate to say it, but I mean, now that you have Josh Gordon.
He's not making a lot of money. I forget his contract situation. Would he sound like a 1-year deal?
Yeah.
He's pretty reliable, though.
Very reliable, and I think Brady likes him a lot. He didn't drop a pass last year. I think there's a lot. I think the wide receiver, I think that's going to be the group that there's a cut that we were surprised about.
Yeah.
Because they've all been effective and impressive. You have N'Keal Harry. I mean, like, do you really need a Philip Dorsett on your team?
I also read today that maybe Josh Gordon is on the non-football injury list till week 6. I don't know if they would do that. I mean, there's 3 weeks until the season, so that would give someone like a roster spot and sort of see if someone develops or pops.
Interesting. Why would they do that? Just if he's not ready. If he's not ready, yeah.
He's got 3 weeks to the season. You can get in shape in 3 weeks, and I'm assuming he's been working out.
I mean, you in shape versus like ready, I think are 2 different things. Why not just throw him in for a couple of packages or whatever that you need him for?
And then the punter, Jake Bailey versus.
We got a little kicking punting battle. I think
Ryan Allen.
Yeah, Ryan Allen, but Gostkowski, you're lucky that you didn't watch this game in real time. Missed some kicks. Buddy.
Multiple kicks?
Buddy. I think 2.
You know how I am. I am not bullish on Gostkowski. I've never felt great about him. I do think, though, that he doesn't get the credit he deserves for the field goal that made a 2-score game in the Super Bowl.
Sure. But he missed
missed one.
One?
I think one.
One.
He's missed some bad kicks. AFC Championship in Denver in 15 and some others.
Yeah.
He's still testy about Adam Vinatieri, as you were.
Oh, I know. Last year he was.
He thanked you for not asking about Vinatieri, right?
Yeah, I was like, because I asked him, I kind of asked him, and I was like, there's a little bit of criticism that you haven't really had, and luckily for him, he hasn't been put in a situation where you have like a game-winning kick.
Right.
Really, that's like a huge playoff. And he was like, I had a really big kick my rookie year. And then like when we were done, with the interview, I was like, I didn't mean to like offend you when I asked that question. I was just kind of wondering how you keep yourself ready or whatever. And he was like, well, at least you didn't ask me about Adam Vinatieri. I was like, okay.
But like, listen, if you're not expecting that, know that that's the deal.
Right. Anyway, so I think there's a lot. I think the Patriots. I'm so happy we can talk about football all the day, every day now.
Yeah, I'm like turning the page to football season.
We were talking about this today too. Do you think like other teams like around the league, especially like AFC East, like they like maybe felt like they had a chance to be competitive with the Patriots maybe in the division this year. Just that maybe the division will be better than it has been in previous years, and then they get Josh Gordon back and they're like
right,
you've got to be kidding me. Like they're just kind of like come on. You gave us like
this is the most excited I am for the AFC East only because of the 3 young quarterbacks.
Very intriguing.
Like I've seen enough of Josh McCown and Chad Pennington and Nate Peterman and all the other crap quarterbacks in the AFC East.
Nate Peterman, God bless.
God, I love doing that's my go-to graphic in New England Nation when I do like since 2001 like Tom Brady has more wins in Miami than like Ryan Tannehill. I don't know.
I know.
Just all those. All right, what are we ending with? Baseball.
Baseball. Will the Red Sox regret the Chris Sale contract?
All right, I think I wrote it on there. What is it to 2024? 5 years. It's like $30 million.
Yeah, 5 years through 2024.
So this is coming up because he has left elbow inflammation.
He's getting a second opinion with
Dr. James Andrews. Never want to hear his
And he's
name.
going to Florida for the second opinion with the team trainer.
So obviously, worst case scenario is Tommy John surgery, which means he's probably out all of next year. So at this point, you're already regretting it because this year was not a good year.
No.
Next year would be a non-year. And I don't know why they decided to extend him at the beginning of the year. He broke down 2 straight Septembers. We were managing his innings and throwing schedule.
Yeah.
And he ended up closing out the World Series. So I think you'll sort of remember that fondly. But he wasn't great in the postseason. It was David Price that was the horse.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why they're investing a ton of money in him, Price, and Eovaldi, who are all aging pitchers, when 5 years earlier, John Henry's like, we don't give money to aging pitchers. That's why John Lester's out the door. It just seems like they sort of got caught up in the World Series Chris Sale moment and gave him this deal when I don't think they necessarily had to. So, yes, I think ultimately they'll regret.
I agree. And you only go and get a second opinion when you don't like the first opinion, right? So, like, you probably were told something you didn't want to hear, and obviously this Dr. Andrews is very well respected, but like worst case scenario, I mean, what's the best case scenario? First of all, if this is anything, like just don't make him play the rest of the year.
Yeah, obviously.
Do not.
Right.
And then obviously he wasn't the pitcher that you paid him to be for 1 season. That's a 5th of his deal. That's a lot. So, like, yes, that you should regret this.
So it'd be 2/5 technically since the new contract.
If he misses next year.
He, for the first 2 years of his Red Sox career, was unbelievable.
Right.
His stats.
And he just became the fastest pitcher to reach 2,000 strikeouts.
His arm angle and his body, I've always sort of been a little wary about him long term. But Pedro was a small guy. He did it for a while, but he started to break down in his 30s. Not great.
Poor Red Sox.
Alex Cora was like, I don't know who's pitching Tuesday. That's what he said yesterday. I don't even know who's pitching tomorrow, do you?
No, who are they playing?
That's a good question.
Yeah, do you not know?
No.
I don't either. I literally did highlights. I did highlights of the Orioles and the Red Sox, and then I did highlights of the Indians and the Yankees. I'm like, let's do 2 opposite sets of highlights tonight because we will do bad teams and then we'll do good teams.
Well, the Red Sox, I wouldn't say are bad, but the Orioles are god-awful. Yesterday,
they're not a
had
playoff team.
Comically, the Orioles?
The Red Sox.
They're not a playoff team, no.
No, they're not.
They have talent to be, but they're not awful. They're going to win like 85 games.
You love those Red Sox.
What? I was off on them last year until they won the World Series. Not off, but like I wasn't buying in. This year, no, they're not going to make the playoffs, but.
No. Hate to break it to you.
So what do you want me to do? Not cover the Red Sox for the rest of the year?
No, we love the Red Sox, but maybe you should find out who they're playing before your sportscast.
Well, they're not playing today.
Oh, they're not. They're off today.
Yeah. So tomorrow. Why would I look ahead to tomorrow? I'm day by day. I'm taking it one day at a time.
One day at a time, taking a page. One topic we should have had in here. Why is Bill Belichick in such a good mood? He was so funny today, like to the point where I was seriously almost in tears giggling at him.
But there's a caveat to Bill Belichick being funny. We think those are funny moments because he's such a hardy.
We think it's funny when he laughed at himself today.
It's funny when he laughs at himself. But
I think he likes this team. I think he likes this team.
I agree.
I think he is having a good time, and I think things are pretty jolly inside the walls of Gillette. I think they're
things
doing
are good.
well.
I agree. I think he really likes his team. I think he likes his group. And I do too. I don't know what it is. I feel much better
Yeah.
about this team than I did a year
Last year.
ago, 2 years ago, even without Gronk in the mix.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Which, you know what that means. It's not going to go well. Like last year.
Oh, is
they
that
had
Gronk
no
press
business.
conference on Wednesday?
I think it's next week. Is it this week? It may be this week.
22nd.
Yeah, this week. Gronk update. Cool.
That'll be interesting.
All right.
Okay, sorry.
That's the latest from Double OT. Catch us online, WPRI.com, the WPRI 12 News app, and wherever you download your podcasts. Apple, Google.
And
we'll
Google
see-
Play.
We'll see you next time.